Welcome everybody to another episode of the Crime Alley Cast. This is episode number 10. We're double digits now. I'm
Yeah.
Josh Suarez, and we got my boy Costley over here. What's up, Costley?
I'm doing, just
You're
doing
doing?
my DCL thing, doing my DCL thing and my raid thing all at the
Yeah,
same
your,
time.
your DCL thing.
Yeah.
And
Doing,
I'm sure everyone can notice we're Sans the boy here. He's a busy boy. He's a
oh
busy
yeah.
boy, so he couldn't jump in today. But we have a lot to talk about. It's been 2 weeks-ish?
Yeah, about 2 weeks.
About
Yeah.
2 weeks, yeah, not too bad. How have you been doing though, Costly, man? What's been up?
I've just been working a lot, as normal, and then just streaming when I can and doing DCL and
In
raid.
raids.
Both of them have been very, very busy. Raid's been super busy over the past couple weeks because they brought out all the Valentine's Day characters for that, and then now we have a new faction coming out and stuff. There's a huge update coming out, but they had a fusion event for the Valentine's Day character, and that was a lot of work to get him fused, but it was worth it because he slaps. So he takes out waves of enemies very easily.
Tell Raid to be careful because DCL's coming out with some new stuff too. They got some new content coming our way as well.
Oh yeah, we'll be talking about that today for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, Raid, watch out. DCL's is doing things too. I've been doing good too. Same old for me. Just doing my streams. Those are going smooth. Siege though, man, oh man, this Siege. How are you doing in Siege?
I'm holding onto the coattails of top 20. I'm literally finishing between 20 to 23 every day. So
oh wow, so you're right on the edge. Is there a little grouping going on around the 20s?
Normally right when it crosses over to reset, it's I've been losing tunes a little bit, so it's more or less I started at 20 a couple days ago, and
Right.
now I'm finishing at 23. So it's
you're slipping a little bit then.
I have to get real smart in a couple matches for a couple days to make up the difference, or start doing some revenges. One of the two.
Now, are you buying every day?
Yes.
Okay.
So I normally don't, but when I was I've been tired. Impulse, I actually don't have enough for L5 right now because I forgot about his arena week.
Oh no.
And so I was oh, right. Well, now I don't have enough impulse. I was you know how I could solve this? If I just stayed on top of Siege. Because I end up buying 3/4 of the way normally anyways. So it's because I get kind of lazy normally is why. But so I was you know what? I need to just buy all the way through, push for top 20, and then I don't have to worry about doing arena the next, month.
Oh, wait. Okay. So you're saying because you don't have enough for Impulse, you don't want to make the same mistake for Dark Side.
I don't want to make the same.
Okay, that's what you're. I was what does Impulse have to do with this?
I'm super OCD, so I'm just I need to be able to L5 everybody, and it's bugging me that there's only one character in the game I cannot if I can't L5 right now, and that is Joker Damaged Goods.
Okay.
So for me, it's literally every month I take the brand new character to level 80 L5 for raids. Now Impulse that didn't happen with because he's one of my slow gears, and then I kind of just forgot about him. And so when his arena or his Wraith Arena week came up, I forgot that I needed more shards of him, and so I just didn't get him.
Would top 1500 have locked you in?
I think I normally get top 1500 just by accident.
Yeah.
I still play Wraith with it. It's one of those things that's I used to not fall into top 1500, but then now with doing streaming and everything,
you're doing
I end up playing
matches.
I play enough matches to where I normally end up top 1500. It would, and I think I needed to get actually, you know what? Maybe I didn't get top 1500 because I think that would have secured it for me.
Yeah, so, it seems because didn't you get top 20 for Impulse last time or?
No, I got top 60.
Okay,
so that's
I think 60 with
the been is I'm getting 60 lately.
Yeah,
I haven't finished top 20 in probably 5 months, so I keep finishing top 60. So what ends up happening, and Impulse is one of the ones that I didn't buy any packs for either. So I was going simply just off of my Siege rewards. So I just don't want that to happen with future characters.
Right.
So it's like it's a little different whenever I buy a pack and then okay, now that's easy, that made up for it, you know. But with Dark Side, I don't know if I can buy a pack or not yet, and I'm not planning on rebirthing him, so I just need to get enough for L5. So
I think top 60 with a 1500 finish in the event gives you all five. But then there's all, don't we get them raid? Like,
yeah, then you get
okay,
some from raid.
okay, all right.
Did we get impulse frags from?
I
Was there
don't
not a raid?
remember. Was that the no raid? Was that the December no raid? Is that why you don't have them?
I feel like that might be.
Because who was last month? Shiva.
Last month was Shiva.
Yeah, and the month before was
Was
no.
yeah, it was Bleeze and who
Oh
else
yeah,
came out?
no. Bleeze and Shiva were
Bleeze
together.
and Shiva, okay, and then no, that was Black Flash Impulse. So yeah, he would have had one.
So I think
Um,
yeah, that got you. There it is.
it was Red Tornado that didn't have a siege or didn't have a raid. Red Tornado's one that didn't have a raid.
Oh yes, 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 yes. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
Impulse I just messed up somewhere.
You did
But
something. You goofed it up.
yeah, and so like I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
And look, I know there's gonna be plenty of people that are gonna be like, yeah, it's because you were playing raid. Okay, look, relax. Okay, I Impulse doesn't matter that much. Okay.
He's not, I mean, people, I don't know.
Although
Impulses,
I will say
whatever.
I've had multiple times where I'm like, because you don't really see him anymore, anyways. And then like somebody will be running him in siege, and I'm like, okay, just I'll run Black Flash, and then hope that the chain of
Yeah.
events that, and then it almost never happens until like you really don't want it to happen, and then
Right.
it happens.
Yeah. Because in Wraith, you see him in Wraith, you're just like, whatever. Like, one, I rarely ever see him anywhere, Wraith or Siege. But when you see
Yeah.
him in Wraith, who cares? Whatever. Like, you lose the match, you lose the match. Or you just, if he does the thing, which is whichever move it is, where he like 70% turn down, I think it's this two. If he does that, then you're probably going to lose the match. But maybe you won't. Or you might lose some
Yeah.
tunes, but you probably win the match. But in Siege, you don't want to gamble on that. You can't gamble 50-50 in Siege because he will cost you a tune. And
Oh yeah.
so yeah, I actually had an impulse today and I was pissed. I'm just like, why? Why do you impulse? I don't know. But yeah, this Siege is tough. I'm right there with you where my goal was top 20 for this Siege because I knew that this Siege was going to be difficult off the bat because one, Dark Side is the reward. A lot of people are going to be pushing for Dark Side, but also what I think we saw was a lot of people buy Dark Side. I think WB made a killing this month off so many people buying Dark Side and I will say there's no bonus leaders except for Dark Side. And so I feel like I am seeing those that did buy Dark Side, those that did have a much, they just have a really good advantage in this siege just off that already. He's a good tune. He's really strong, really powerful, hits hard, and he's a leader you can slot in. And then you can slot in Black Flash elsewhere. You can get another tune in, and it works out. So and same for me. I've been losing tunes. I've actually gone Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 6 days in a row of losing tunes, and
I've been losing a lot of tunes.
My worst siege performance, my worst siege week ever. And I was sneaking into the top 10 and now I'm not. Now I'm number 11, number 12 sometimes. And so I don't know. It's an annoying siege. What are you seeing?
I had a match today where like, well, first of all, I'm seeing the speed meta is slowly creeping its way in, as it normally does. But one of the things which like I'm more prepared for now, like I'm just accepting of the fact that speed meta is here now. So I RB5'd my cheetah. And so it's like I have something strong to battle in siege meta with, or in speed meta with. So
okay, so you brought Cheetah just for the turn meter, or like
for the turn meter, and it's also a good bump to both Superwoman and Coda.
Okay,
so because you get the strength ups, and now, but today I unfortunately did have a moment where I thought I was managing the speed correctly. I was running Cheetah, Black Flash, Superwoman, and Coda against. This was an all rebirth team of Donna Troy, Martian Manhunter, Black Flash, and Coda. And I thought I was managing it correctly until the last little bit where Coda was actually able to get a turnout before I could reset. And she did her basic on Cheetah, and it double called assist Black Flash to kill my cheetah.
Ugh.
The one call assist wouldn't have killed her. It was the second one that did.
Yep.
And then I killed both Coda and Black Flash in one move with Superwoman on the next turn.
So I'm going
And
to
it was
ask
just
you.
like, oh man.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you because I had a match where I brought Cheetah in yesterday. And after the first series of turns, I thought, I wish I brought Manhunter. What do you feel like the difference between Manhunter and Cheetah? Because some people are out there where they're thinking like, why bring Cheetah if you have Manhunter? Or why would you bring Cheetah over Manhunter? Why do you bring Cheetah over Manhunter sometimes?
So if it's beneficial to me, I'll do it because of like, for instance, we all know like I love Silver Banshee.
You do?
Silver Banshee has been a candidate for RB5 for me before.
Ooh.
And because she's a great, she synergizes with Red Hood, who I have RB4.
Okay.
And then she also synergizes with Cheetah. In the fact that Cheetah applies bleeds and has a purge, so she deals really well with Silver Banshee. Pretty cool little team you can actually run in this siege itself, and have quite a few different bonus tunes. Is you can run Cheetah, Silver Banshee, and Kilowog, because Kilowog purges on his basic.
Yeah.
So he can also activate, and like Cheetah puts out more bleeds. And if you want to make that team even more effective, I personally run like Cassandra Cain with that, but you can run any number of like, just other bleeders, or you can run another bonus tune if you want. So that's a pretty cool little team you can do there. That's with these bonus tunes, only 2 bonuses, sometimes 3, depending what you do with that 4th slot. But I bring Cheetah when it makes sense to synergize with the rest of the team. Otherwise, I would bring Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
And there are certain situations where you cannot bring Cheetah, where like, if you're not thinking about it and you bring Cheetah just because you're like, oh, versus speed meta, which I fall into a lot having an RB5 Cheetah. Most of the time when I see speed meta, I just assume bring Cheetah because like I have an RB5 version of her, and okay, like if I just need to go the speed, and I won't think about the fact where it's like, well, I'm bringing Kilowog to stun Azrael, and if I bring Cheetah, then Cheetah has to hit somebody and it's going to activate Azrael.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't have like a buff on her turn 1. Whereas like Martian Manhunter does. And then also there's like such good synergy between Martian Manhunter and Kilowog because it's 2 stuns on your team and you still get the speed up. But then there's other times too where it's like Cheetah can give you that other strength up to smack a little bit harder with your Superwoman or your Coda or your Kilo. So
yeah, I brought in Cheetah the other match, and I don't remember if I lost a tune. I don't think I lost a tune that match. I think I got out unscathed, but I just remember thinking like after the first initial series of moves, because Cheetah is that like quick attack speed. Like I feel like she goes in there and when she opens with her double swipe, you can immediately do massive damage to a green, and that could be Kilowog. If you crit, he's dead. And but if you don't get that, and then let's say you make it past the first series of rounds or the first series of turns and they're still all 4 up, now you have a squishy Cheetah and she's probably going to die, but and then Manhunter, you're giving up the stun, you have the awareness. I mean, you have the debuff immunity. Like, I don't know. I was just thinking about that the other day about like why, and I get asked the question too sometimes like, oh, can I do Cheetah instead of Manhunter? Like, well, you can't really necessarily you can't, because they do certain things differently. And I think in Siege for the most part that Manhunter is, I think, just a little bit better because you may not be able to, depending on who you're fighting, you may not be able to get 2-3 kills within the first 3 turns, and then Manhunter excels after that. But
well, see, I think Cheetah is a prime example of like we say like Rebirth is a scam, is a meme and everything, but it's like, here's the honest thing about Rebirth. Like most of the time it's not going to affect too many different characters, but Cheetah is an example of a character that does benefit very greatly from Rebirth because I get the leeway there of like, yes, she's still squishy, and I will say she is still really squishy even at RB5, but I survive most things that other people's Cheetahs can't.
yeah.
And then you talk about that double swipe, and if it crits, I don't need to crit.
With
my Cheetah. Like, she just kills.
That's how
if it's a non-rebirth green, they're dying to the double swipe. Like,
that's how I feel about certain tunes. Like, again, Cheetah to me is that quick initial burst of power, burst of heavy damage. And I feel like there's characters like Batwoman and Shiva, especially, where they really benefit from just being as rebirth as much as you can, because you basically get one shot with them. You basically get that one quick attack, and you want to make sure you get the kill. You want to make sure you're putting massive amount of damage. Like if they don't get the kill, then whoever's going next, regardless of what they do, is going to finish them off. But
and one of the things too, not to make this all about Cheetah and everything, but I think that's cool about Cheetah is because most people just look at her as like the leader in position, where it's like if you take her out of the leader role, she's actually still pretty good.
Yeah,
and especially if you put her on a team, like specifically I'm thinking of, you could run in this siege. Now to run this, it requires there being either no speed meta on the other side or no black flash.
And it happens often enough. That happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could run Red Hood, Silver Banshee, Cheetah, and Kilowog. And you have a whole bunch of synergy with Silver Banshee specifically there, as well as Cheetah's going to get you going faster than the other team anyways, because she's one of the faster characters in the game, and she's going to buff everybody right off the bat. Then you AoE with Red Hood, and he gets the bleeds out there to get so that the stuns start proccing, or not the stuns, sorry, the purges start proccing Silver Banshee and everything, and it's pretty fun time.
I would like to see a small little tweak to Cheetah where her blood in the air triggers more when there's bleeds. Like if she, like, I think if that procced more than it does.
I always thought it needs to proc more.
Yeah, if it procs more, then you might be like, hey, Cheetah then, as the match goes on, she's consistently speeding up your team, like 20%, you know, if it's proccing, because what if it proc 2-3 times in a row? That would be great. Now you're like, hey, Cheetah is...
The problem with that is you got to look at some of the powerhouses of the bleed meta, and then you're talking like, specifically me, like if I were able to take advantage of that, you're talking about letting me run Cheetah at RB5 alongside an RB5 Cassandra Kane, who's going to get to her turns faster and get invisible faster because speed is just speeding up the whole team.
I beat you.
Because of the bleeds that Cassandra puts out. But you know what I mean? Like,
no, I get it. But hey, make her do it. Like that Cheetah.
Yeah, they would be awesome. I'm just saying, it's like there's that's like what you'd have to fear at that point. You know what I mean?
And of course you're saying, but make Cheetah stronger. Sure, I have RB5. I'd love her to be stronger.
On that note, I did just get an RB5 Wonder Woman Princess of Themyscira. And we were all talking about it the other day about how like she's not even 10k power at RB5.
Oof.
And it's like, okay, hey, WB, if you could just do an update to her, you don't even have to rework her. But if you want to rework her, I have an idea. Now, hear me out on this. So the way that she works, basically right now,
I think you've told me this before, but I want
is at the end of her turn, if there are no debuffs across the entire team, she uses her 3. And if there are debuffs across the entire team, she uses her 2. Now, the problem with this is her 2 purges more debuffs off of her than it does the entire team. So what ends up happening is she will purge herself clean, but not the rest of the team. So once it comes back around to her turn again, she just doesn't do anything at the end of her next turn because there's debuffs on the team.
Right.
So one of my proposals has been make it to where if there are any debuffs across the team, she uses her 2. Make her like a super cleanser. To where it's like, because we don't have too many of them in the game that I can think of off the top of my head, where it's like, where if you think about them, like they could almost be oppressive in the way that they keep debuffs off. Like it's so hard to keep debuffs on them, you know. And she could be. That's how you could bring her, because it's all about like the speed meta is here, and it's not going anywhere. Like it's going to be a thing for a while. So what we have to do to make other things viable within the speed meta is make things enticing to not run a speed lead.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like the advantage of a speed lead is that you can do everything real fast. Well, it's like, okay, so say if you bring in Wonder Woman and she's real tanky herself, and then like you could also add in like stamina ups on her too or something. So it's like if you start debuffing her, it goes negatively for you because now that team gets tankier. Because she starts, you know, there's all kinds of different ways you can do stuff like that. You can do this with a lot of different leaders. Kind of like what we were talking about with Cheetah, just make her go faster, faster and faster if there's bleeds happening. So it's like, you could really like revitalize some of these leaders.
Yeah.
Like it'd be cool to see, and this isn't on our topic list, but I'm going to go do it real quick. What I've always thought was cool is if they ever wanted to do this, almost like a rebalancing patch in a way,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like I get that like part of the release schedule is like 2 new characters, 2 new reworks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's cool. It'd be cool if because of power creep existing, where I'm already seeing Cassandra Cain get power creeped, right? To where it's like she's already like, remember how scary it was when you'd miss on her before? It'd be
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my god, now like what was this past siege? You guys figured out that like even against my RB5, like you could hit with Black Flash and
Yeah, you
you only
could.
kill sometimes.
Yeah,
Like, and it's like she had to crit to kill,
and
and it's like
you pair him with Lex, and the damage that he is going to take is going to be offset by the damage, the health that he gains from Lex. Yeah.
yeah, and so it's like it'd be cool if they just came through and just like did a whole patch that just balanced out the entire game.
Yeah, well, that's not gonna
And it's
happen.
like I don't think it'll ever happen,
No.
but it'd be cool because they like.
It'd be really
And
cool.
I'm not saying rework the entire roster. Like leave rework still for being reworks, where it's like we're gonna change up like specific text within people's kits, but it's just like if they just brought everybody up on their stats to like similar levels, that would change up the meta enough as it is. To where it's like if you started seeing like, you know, imagine like Clayface already does a pretty decent job. Imagine if his stats were brought up to be a tank for today's meta.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's like, oh, like he's not dying quickly at all. You know, you could really do some stuff there.
It's funny that you mentioned Clayface. I've been kind of falling in love with Clayface again. I do have some gripes with Clayface. There is still certain things that make me mad about him, but he's such a great dude. And I really think I'm going to take him to like RB whatever, because he's one of my favorite tanks. Like I'm a big fan of Bleeze because I like that Bleeze can keep the taunt on her. And Clayface is a really good tank, but once that taunt's gone, it's you know, now he's that big wall over there, but you don't have to go through the wall.
Doesn't he normally only keep it for one turn?
Yeah, it's like one, I think maybe two. I think it's one, maybe two, but it's short. And so there's plenty of times where you just survive the first round of Clayface, and then you know you're good. And that's where I kind of like Bleeze a lot, because you can keep the taunt on her. But I don't want to go into that Bleeze discussion. But I have been falling more in love with Clayface. I think I playing with him a lot recently. I want him higher. I really like that fat stack of agility ups you get that just make him even tankier and make the whole team tankier too. So
yeah, he's been on my list for a while. I mean, he's a bat villain, so of course he is. But beyond that, he pairs really well with specifically running a Nightwing lead with Cassandra Cain. Or you can do Nightwing, Azrael, Coda, Clayface. There's a lot of different combinations you can do here. The nice thing about Cassandra with it is when you run her with Nightwing, she gets the invisibility back faster. But it's also nice to run Nightwing with Nightwing and Clayface actually pair together very well, because Nightwing will put the invisibility onto Clayface to get him his taunt more. So it actually works very well. You just don't want to use Nightwing.
I know. I just There's ways you can keep the taunt on Clayface, and there's tons of ways to do it. There's tons of doing. Black Mask can do it too. It's just I don't know. I want him to do it all, I guess. But yeah, Siege is interesting. I find this Siege. I don't know why. Like I asked that question today after I ended my siege. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? At the start of the siege, I felt it was fine. Streaming siege is different than just playing siege normally, because I try to kind of put on a show. I maybe go for 18s or 20s when I don't need to, and I got people in chat trying to lead me the wrong way. Costly.
I don't know who is doing that.
It's and they're just press battle, just do it, press battle, and it's like, oh my god. And I don't know if like people really want me to start the match, they think I'm talking too much, but I don't know. It's an interesting siege. If you're listening to this and you happen to not know I stream, check out the stream.
Is very unique to you, just so you know. If when I stream siege, people are like, my viewership goes down. I'm like,
really? See, you have to get the drama in. You have to be uncertain. it's all an
Sorry, I cut
act
you
I
off in the
do.
middle of your plug, but yes, good.
It's
If
all
you
an
don't
act I
know,
do that I act like I don't know what I'm doing. You know, it's all a big act. But yeah,
oh,
if
it's an act.
yeah, it's an
Okay.
act. But if you would like to see some Siege action, I stream the Siege every day, and you can check my VODs later too. But I feel like watching people play Siege, and I try to always tune into like M4 too. He's about as late as I can go sometimes because wife gets home and I want to hang out with her. But it's hard to watch more streams. But I feel like I benefit from watching other people play Siege. It's
Just FYI, that probably attributes to people not watching me play Siege. Is I stream after M4,
yeah,
so they watch like M4 play Siege and just be a master at it,
yeah.
and then they're like, "This guy, what's he?" No, don't run that character. What are you doing? What are you...
It's M4 it has all the tunes. I wish I had all the tunes. I wish I had all the tunes like you too. Like I don't know. I wish I could just run. I'm struggling this Siege too because I really only have 3 bonus tunes. I have Coda. Well, I just got the 4th one. I have Coda, Kilo, Donna, and I just got Swoops.
Lowest.
got the swoops in, and so I just got the 4th, but it really does handicap me sometimes. And everyone's been yelling at me about Mr. Miracle. And
He's great.
He's great. We'll talk about Miracle. Let's.
But okay, so on the fact of Superwoman, I mean, somebody who completely like changed up Siege. You know what I mean? Like we went from like the first couple of days of Siege, it was like, like you got used to like the beginning of a meta, and then all of a sudden Superwoman just like dive bombed in.
Oh man,
and like AoE'd and was like,
she hit
I'm
so
here
hard.
for the rest
Yeah,
of the season.
she hit
You know what
so
I mean? Like,
hard. I'm so tempted to just buy more packs of her, but man, like
I have no reason to rebirth her as far as my
I have a reason.
I mean I have a reason as well. I have, as far as my theme of rebirths go.
Oh
I have
yeah,
literally no reason to rebirth her, but I will have enough to go RB1 if I want, maybe even RB2. I bought 2 packs, so
yeah.
I
think I bought 3 packs.
well, I mean, I bought 2 of the like big packs.
The big
Like,
pack. Oh, okay.
I needed the gems for raid,
right.
so.
I'll say what I'm gonna. I'll say this really quick, and then we'll talk about it. But Superwoman, why would I rebirth her? For all the raids in the future. And
oh yeah, no.
Let's
Speaking of which,
let's talk about raids because Superwoman showed up in raids, and that was interesting. Let's talk about last raids. Wait, for one, how did you do?
I got 500 million. That was
Finally.
good. And then we're in the same alliance, so we got
we
whatever
did
place we got. I didn't even realize what we got. Like we didn't twice. What did we get? Like, because we didn't get top 10.
We didn't. We were in top 10 for a long time though.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Vagrant Soul too for doing all that. But yeah, it was we were almost top 10. We finished around 15th, but I mean, it almost really seems like an alliance can lock up a top 50 performance within the very first 2 days. Like if everyone just goes, but because you don't need to do solos, just everyone attack the first 2 days, and then you can basically coast the rest of the siege or the rest of the raid and lock in a top 50. And top 50 rewards are so good, especially compared to top 10 rewards, which requires so much more work. It's ridiculous how much more work top 10 requires. Because let's just be honest. And sorry, Guardians. Sorry, Kingdom of Atlantis. The Owls are going to be first. All right. Like, I hope
Speaking
one
as
day.
somebody who was within that alliance,
Yeah.
I'm not going to give up their secret sauce or anything.
Don't give out the secret sauce.
But it's
Or
like,
do give out the secret sauce. And then title this video, The Secrets of the Owls Revealed. Raid Secrets Reveals. Oh, we get so many views.
but here's the thing. Like, they're going to be, I'm not saying they're unbeatable. It's just, it would require too much.
Yeah, I think.
I know all those guys very well. I consider most of them my friends. And here's the thing, like they don't quit for anything.
Yeah.
Like
I think as much as other alliances want to beat them, I think the Owls don't want to lose to them more. So you're like, however much.
It's definitely a pride thing. It
yeah.
has nothing to do, like, in case anybody who's like any lower level alliances listen to this podcast, it doesn't really like nothing wrong with being a lower level alliance, by the way.
Yeah,
but
no.
just like anybody who's in like not in that world, it's like you start pushing past like the top 10, those guys aren't making their money back. All right, like
they're running at a negative. They're running at a deficit doing raids.
Like the guys up in the Owls, there's some of those guys. They spend more money than people think anybody should ever expend on a on a mobile game, but like multiply that by times 10 just to win raids. That's not even what they do for the rest of the month for like the game in general.
And that's no knock. This is not a whale knock either. I'm all this is I
spend too much money in all these games.
But it is like the rewards, like you're not going to get number one. You're either going to get top 10 rewards or you're going to get top 50 rewards. And the amount of work required to go top 10
so different.
Is so much more than to go top 50. Like seriously, to be number 10 requires a lot of work, but the work to be just to be number 10 versus to be number 50, it's night and day. And then the rewards is 3,000 more gems, one more rebirth crystal, a few more shards of the tune, and it's just not worth it. I don't know.
On that note, do you think they should make more brackets?
I think they should always make more brackets. I think so, like, the more bubbles there are, the more people push.
The top 5 rewards a little bit closer to number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And like not to devalue like what the Owls do. I don't want to like take away from what they do. I don't want to make their prize insignificant, but also knowing it's gonna be one of those things where it's like it's gonna feel like negative towards them no matter what, because it's like they only get so much for what they do already anyways. But also just knowing simply for the fact that like most of what they do for isn't even for the rewards, it's for the fact that they get first. It'd be kind of nice to then take the people that get top 5, push that up a little bit, then push top 10 up a little bit. Do like they can do top 20 then.
Yeah, it should be top 25 and then like you create these different tiers in there, and I think because why would you?
It'll breed more competition.
Yeah, why would you push if you're 40,
if you're like
30,
35,
place,
what's your incentive?
There's no point in doing anything more.
Like
and that's how we kind of feel like you sneak into that spot. I mean, if you're top 20 by Saturday.
On the note of that, one of the things I think they could definitely do too with that is raise the RB tokens back up.
Yeah, they should give more RB tokens.
Like 5 is a joke. Is it 5 for number 1?
I think so. Like it is. So
I was in that alliance and I can't remember what it was, but it's like I remember like the first couple raids we got 10 back then, and it was like
that's a lot. That's a rebirth. That's something to push for, I mean, not to say that 5 isn't. You gotta get your crystals.
And like add some more rewards in there too, because something you could do with that too that would really make it worth the push is does anybody I'm only talking to one person, Josh, do you remember the Larfleeze?
Comment out there if you're one of those anybody's that Cosby's talking to.
Do you remember the Larfleeze siege?
I do remember the Larfleeze siege. It was a really good siege. Those that
led
the LE
legendary essence.
I got like 1 point something million.
Why is that not bundled into Raid's alliance side?
I don't know.
Because then that would be incentive to push. You know what I mean? Like,
because
like if the Owls got like 2 million alliance or legendary essence to the entire alliance every time that they won,
wait, 2 million per person or 2 million split up?
2 million per person.
Oh my god, that's too much. That's too much. That's 20 LE. No, that's 20 L5s.
That's first place.
No, that's too much. That's way too much. Okay. You're crazy.
All right, let's bring it down then. 500,000.
That would be more reasonable. 2 million. This man said 2 million.
Look, I was just looking at what M4 got for being first.
Well, that was one. Yeah, one person got it. A whole alliance getting. Oh no. That's too
okay, much. I see what you're saying. A whole alliance would be pretty bad.
Yeah.
Okay, let's tone it way down. Let's say 200,000 legendary essence.
That's good to me. That's 2 L5s right there.
Yeah, to everybody, and it's like, and then they get 10 rebirth crystals, and then have the 30,000 gems as well. You know what I mean? Like, and I think the gems could be higher, but whatever. Like I also like 30,000 gems is a lot of gems.
It's a lot of gems.
It's just like
they spend a lot more.
Like, let's put it this way: it's not WB's fault that the community makes itself spend so much money to get first.
The bar
Right.
has been set so high, like that's the problem, and that's the arms race. It's an arms race that is what occurred here. The Owls and the Guardians and the Kingdom Atlantis, they entered an arms race, and now they're to get up there. It's you'd think they would all get together, like all the leaders would sit down and say, "Hey, let's not," or I don't know.
Yeah.
Or what if they got together and said, "Hey, instead of attacking each other, making each other spend more, what if we have our own contest? First one to a 1.5 billion gets to keep first, and then so they can just shut it down because no one else is going to push. Like, why don't they work something out between them? I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, they really should do that. They really should talk to the other alliance and say, "Hey, how about we make a deal? Whoever gets to 1.5 billion first, the other teams have to shut it down, and then we'll shut it down. That way we can all save because no one else is going to push up there. Like it's too many, it's too much." But anyways, look at these sidetracks we're going on here.
Well, it's kind of crazy, like how Raid has been, or like how Raid has diversified the game so much.
Mm-hmm.
To where it's like, if you really think about it, like, and something that I've seen over time with a lot of these alliances is these alliances started recruiting based on like location to get coverage times for Raid.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so that they could get a 24-hour coverage.
Yeah. They want them time zones,
Yeah. And so, and it's all just based on the fact that like, of something that like literally just a simple sit down conversation between like the top 10 leaders could change completely.
Yeah.
Everybody get so much more sleep and have a lot more money in their pocket to go do other things.
Like, come on, guys. Work together. Like, stop beating each other up. The bar just, it's just crazy. It's crazy. But
like watching a bunch of people like pay a bunch of money to just beat themselves up.
And then that begets, like the power begets power. Like it's just I don't know. It's crazy.
It's interesting, but it's also just kind of crazy to see like the numbers that they achieved.
Yeah,
too.
it is crazy.
Where it's like, I mean, I was a part of that team the first time that we crossed over and came back in the negatives, and it was like, I remember like that Discord that morning was insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Everybody was like, guys, have you looked at the score? And it was like Bullseye was asleep when it happened, right? So we're like, oh, holy crap. And then like, we're just like, I don't know what's going on. Everybody just started laughing about it. And just, everybody was making a big joke of it. They were like, oh my God. Like, do we keep pushing? Like, what happens when we cross the Guardians going the other direction?
Yeah.
Are we going to go into second place? What's going on?
It was wild stuff. That was, and then
I remember the moment when we were about to cross Guardians going the other direction, and like it literally felt like somehow in a Discord chat, like literal type chat, not like a voice chat. It felt like everybody was sitting there just watching and waiting. That's a crazy
moment. And then, again, that just shows that how much the bar has been pushed in raids. And the whole moral of the story is
that they're not going to finish until they hit 0.
Yeah, but
they go all the way up, and then
the moral of the story is you're not going to get first. You're either getting 10th or you might as well just be top 50. But let's actually talk about the raids and how they went with the tunes that were used. Now, Shiva proved to be very effective, and it was I'm Shiva Shmiva. I'm not a big fan of Shiva. She's fine. She's literally fine, and I'm not going to get into that again, but I did know I wanted to do this raid as fast as possible. I wanted to see how quickly I can get to 500 million. And I knew that Shiva was going to be necessary to do that. And I did have a good raid, and I did knock out 500 million Friday night. So Friday night, if you don't know, if you're not someone who pushes for 500 million, that's when the real work begins. Because the first 2 days, you're not going it's wasted energy, wasted time. The points you get are so low. So you wait till Friday, and that's when you start getting the millions, the 3 millions, you get multiple million point bosses. And I was able to knock out all 500 million before midnight, which I was really happy with. I was the first one to do it. That was my goal, to see if I could be the first, and I was. But I knew Shiva was going to be necessary to do that, so I did take her to G11. I took her to level, I think, 75, and she proved to be very effective. Hippo Shiva, that's all you needed, And if you had Connor, he can work too. But literally, Hippo Shiva. That's it for all the bosses. Green, blue, red. It didn't matter. Just Hippo, Shiva. That's is all you need. And then, and we're gonna talk about this though. What ended up happening, I think, like on Saturdays or someone. People started Friday. People found out.
Oh, well, no, actually, it would have been Thursday because she was purchasable on Thursday.
Yeah, but
Friday,
no one knew. Yeah, but yeah, Saturday. I think by Saturday. I think Saturday is when it was. I saw all the buzz. Riddler, Superwoman. My goodness gracious, she was popping off harder than Shiva was.
So were people running just Riddler and Superwoman?
Riddler.
The team that I had been running and that I was told to run was Riddler, Superwoman, Shiva.
I'm sure that worked too, but the videos I only saw 2 videos, was just straight Riddler, Shiva, Riddler, Superwoman. But I'm sure Shiva can do fine too. But the point of that was Superwoman was not a bonus tune. Riddler is not a bonus tune. So you can literally have 2 non-bonus tunes do more damage than a 5x tune, which is why I'm so pumped up for this next raid and why I think people should gear up Superwoman and invest in her, because you're going to get paid out handsomely later in future raids, because you can just go Riddler, Superwoman, and maybe Shiva, but that's it. And then you're going to dominate every single raid boss from here on out. And not only not just win, you're going to dominate. She's going to be doing 10 million. And it's a 3-time bonus tune for this next raid. Oh my God, she's going to do so much damage.
Yeah, she was insane.
Yeah.
So the team I had been running before getting to that team, I was running a variety of different teams, but I finally settled on Hippo, Shiva, and Connor.
Yeah.
And that was running really well. A little bit of Ultraman where I could get him, a little bit of Arcus. Ultraman was actually doing quite a bit of damage for me on certain teams. But then once I pulled all that off and heard about the Riddler team, it wasn't doing as much damage for me as it was for everybody else. Because the one key thing, I didn't hear about that because since I bought 2 packs of her, I had her literally L4 Friday night.
Swoops?
So yeah.
You have an L4?
Yeah, mine's L4.
Oh,
so like I had her L4 Friday night though. So it's like I'm almost L5 now. So like I had already taken her legendary points before finding out about how good she was. So I had left the 5 off.
Oh, the power strength.
The 5 doesn't make any sense for Siege.
Yeah.
It does make sense for raid. It's her bread and butter during raid.
Yeah, that's the power strength up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. On critical hits or something, or
whenever she does a critical hit, she gets empowered strength up.
Yeah.
Well, when you have that running,
and it's a permanent empowered strength up.
Yeah, when you have that running on like raids, she can really stack those because you have a lot more time. I'm like, how many times is she gonna crit? You know what I mean? In Siege, that's why I didn't take it.
Yeah, and that makes sense. That you build for Siege. You don't build these new characters for the current raid. You build them for Siege. Yeah.
And so it's like it sucks that the raid got delayed, but since we were able to use Superwoman, oh my gosh, but you already hit 500 million before you even started to use her.
Yeah, I was already done before it all found out.
Let me ask you something about that. Friday at reset, where were you already?
Maybe I had done. How much do you get for the level 100 boss? Because I only had 2 of those. I think well under 20 million. I think even less than that. I think
really?
I barely do. So I wouldn't be surprised if I had under 15 million.
So do you normally, like, not even just this time, but like, do you normally just do all your push Friday on?
Yeah, that's literally it. I'll do some bosses, to spawn whatever, to do this and that, to maybe spawn a few bosses.
I try to be around like 30 to 40 million normally by the time.
Oh yeah, I'm not even close to there. I think I have maybe under 20 solo attacks at that point. I literally don't even think about solos until right when reset, I'm on my phone or on the game right at 4:00, and then immediately I'm buying energy like crazy to spawn as many bosses as I can, and then I'm all out. And then it was for me just Hippo Shiva. And what also sped it up was, one, how strong she was hitting against the blues, and also that I didn't have to change teams. I could just leave Hippo Shiva, so it didn't matter, and that saves time. You don't think it saves a lot of time changing teams, but when you do, 420, I think I did 430 boss attacks. It took me, no, it was I was able to complete in under 400 boss attacks, 500 million. And that's a lot of time to save if you take a second or two to change a team and whatever.
I mean, you got really lucky pulling legendary bosses, though. I saw that happening. That happened to me as well, though.
Yeah.
On stream, I think I pulled 5 in a row.
Holy smokes, that's a lot.
And so, but see, back when I was doing stuff with the owls and everything, I used to try and get to somewhere. I typically would get to where, like, literally either right before reset or right after reset on Fridays, I was hitting the 3 rebirth crystals. So there was a lot of points. Yeah, like we did, because like you got alliance energy from the solos.
Wait, what are you talking about? You're hitting the 3 rebirth crystals.
Like in solo, like on literally.
Oh,
on Friday.
the milestone.
I would get to about 130,000 or 130 million before
by Friday. Holy,
before Friday.
Oh my goodness.
Well, the reason we did is because you need the alliance energy.
Yeah, that's true. You need the alliance energy for owls. Yeah.
That was like, I only did that a couple times though. Yeah. Because like most of the time, owls have changed. I'm not gonna give up the secret sauce, but originally it was just everybody hit the boss as much as you can all the time, and then like what ended up happening was like there was a disproportionate amount of like people hitting a crazy amount, and when I mean crazy, like I've seen some high numbers already, just like what Vagrant was doing and stuff like that, but like what these boys do make what Vagrant did look like that's like they were playing with kids in the sandbox.
Vagrant, you know I mean? if you don't know, Vagrant did I think he did a little over 2,000 bosses, which that's a lot.
And so what would happen is like, but then like because of me and work and everything, what ended up happening is like I would do like kind of like what I do with the 1,500 now. I only do like 200 bosses, but like in owls I would get like 600-700 in, something like that.
I mean, you can do more bosses if you wanted to constantly.
I can totally, but it's for me it's hard with work.
Yeah. And that's why the 1,500 is great. Come on over, relax. Everyone listening, relax.
But yeah, no, this raid was fun.
Shiva made it so easy.
Yeah, once I figured out the cheat team that just killed every boss and you didn't have to change things up, I was like, which I didn't hear about until Friday. I was like, oh, well, this made things so much easier.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I didn't hear about it until Saturday. That's what it was. And so I was like, all right, well, I'll be doing this. And
but those are my tips for anyone out there that's wondering how the heck can someone get 500 million. I remember before I used to do it, I used to think, man, that's so much work, because I felt like I played a bunch, and then I was like, oh my god, how are they doing 500 million? I've done so much, and I'm to get those extra last 15 milestones. It's going to be twice as much points I need. But I think just wait till Friday, do your push on Friday. That's my strategy. Do my big push Friday night, because I like to enjoy my weekends. I like to hang out with the wife. I don't want to be sitting there clicking away at raids. Do all that, and I also don't skip the legendary bosses, but I'll fight them regardless of it's not energy efficient. It's speed efficient though. Just do it fast. Just attack them. It's 6 minutes. You should have 3 attacks.
One of the things that I on that note that I always feel like it's like, okay, yeah, if you skip them, they sit in they clog up your UI though.
Right.
Which, don't get me wrong, that's very raid dependent though.
Right.
It depends on what raid we're in and stuff, and like what the bonus tunes are, which may be different now with the whole Superwoman Riddler thing. But it's like that's very dependent upon the bosses that we're fighting though, because like there have been some bosses on the last day where it's like on the 150 where it's like you literally are not worth the time it takes to kill you. Like,
here's what I'll say about leaving the legendary bosses, and this is one of the reasons why I push so much on Friday, is because I can usually kill them in 2 attacks, or I can secure MVP in 2 attacks. Let's say you're saying I'm going to skip them, okay? And let's say you're doing like me recently, and I did chapter 8 this time instead of chapter 1 normal because I needed the GE. And honestly, but after experiencing this, I think I'm always going to do chapter 8 because the gem cost is only double, but the rewards, the resources I get are 5 times more. But anyways, let's say you pull a legendary boss. That's 10 energy, or even just say 5, and you don't attack him. you just wasted 10 energy. Like, because you spawned a boss with that energy, that 5 or 10, chapter 1, chapter 8. And if you don't attack that boss, then you've literally wasted that energy. And let's say you have 5 of those bosses. Let's say you caught 5 of them and you don't do them. That's 50 energy. Like, that's kind of just a waste of energy. Might as well just attack them. And then what, you can just let them sit there? If you're not attacking bosses, what are you doing? Just attack them. I mean, the time's going to come or go or not. So might as well attack them. And honestly, what does it really matter sometimes? I mean, this is different for other people and maybe how much energy they have. But if you do this often enough, if you play raids a little bit more and you build up some energy, you're not going to worry about losing 2 energy. After killing that boss, I now lost 3 energy. You're going to make it back up attacking alliance bosses, or you're going to make it back up just building up over time if you do buy raid packs. I mean, this is assuming you buy raid packs too, or you don't need to buy all of them, but I just say attack the boss. Don't waste the energy. Don't waste the time. Just do it. You're going to wait anyways. Again, clear your board. Now, instead of, let's say you have 5 bosses in there, now you can only spawn 15 versus 20. I don't know. That's just me. Whatever.
Yeah. No, I pretty much agree with you.
Yeah.
A lot of times what ends up happening to me is I end up skipping them on the last day because the 150s are a little bit harder to kill.
Really. Well, not with Shiva this time, though.
Yeah, and but also something that, like, just last day troubles here that I always end up having because of just my work schedule and stuff. It's very hard to push on the last day because you're swimming through legendary bosses that are being shared to you to try and hit your 390s that you just spawned and then hit max on, because like you only have 20 space, which again, WB, if you could just move shared bosses to a different
shared
list,
and that'd be perfect.
It'd be amazing. And then also just, I don't see why this isn't a thing. Put a dismiss button in.
Yeah, dismiss.
If people want to skip, if people want to skip the legendaries, let them skip them. You know what I mean? It's just
like maybe like dismiss and share, like share and dismiss. Whatever. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with that. But Shiva allowed people to hit the 150 bosses. But I agree. It's the 150 bosses on the last day. You like maybe 3 attacks, but you might need 4. And then
I mean, I'm not a coder or anything. I don't know any of this stuff. I just don't see how it can be that difficult. Maybe the dismiss and share is a little more difficult.
Maybe
I don't see how a second UI list would be that difficult. Just bring shares over here and then
that'd be great.
But, so that we're not talking about raids all day. Superwoman was great for raids, but she's also doing good in Siege.
And her and Darkseid are the new
character.
Superwoman, Darkseid are the 2 new characters that we have coming out, and everyone's jazzed up about it. Everyone was going bonkers over Darkseid because, hey, he's Darkseid. This is this is the guy. But Superwoman is she's holding her own, like in how effective they are. I don't have Darkseid. I don't think you have Darkseid, right?
No, I don't.
And so I guess our perspective of Darkseid is going to be a little bit halfy because we only fought them, and I haven't used him. But
every Darkseid I've ever fought except for M4s when it like I ignored him a little bit too much.
Like the early days when you weren't sure how to fight him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But beyond that, like I normally just priority kill him in the beginning and then he's not a problem anymore.
Yeah, who kills him really good?
Superwoman.
My goodness.
But that's also a benefit of the fact that, like, if you go look at my roster, most of my rebirths are physicals. So it's like I don't have a problem taking out Darkseid at all. Because I have like an RB4 Huntress, I have an RB5, Cassandra, RB4 Red Hood, like I have all these different characters. And like Huntress, by the way, works so amazingly well with Coda because you start stacking those strength ups onto Huntress and she starts punching well above her weight class.
Yeah, Huntress is really good.
So...
But yeah, I find that Darkseid, he is troublesome. You don't want to let him go loose though. And so if you're fighting a Darkseid, you don't want him to kind of run wild. You do need to take care of him, which is a nod to how good of a tune he is. And he's even more effective when you use him, but you got to deal with him, and depending on the team comp, you may not be able to, and then it's a problem. Then you'll really have to plan your team to take him out. But I think Darkseid is going to be great. I have a feeling that both these tunes, Superwoman and Darkseid, are going to be amazing raid tunes. Superwoman's already proven she's going to be an amazing raid tune. But I think we're going to see Darkseid possibly being a good raid tune even when he's not 5 times the bonus, because he will be the 5-time bonus soon this coming raid. So, but Darkseid's good. He's tanky as all get out. He survives hits I don't think he should survive sometimes. He buffs like a madman and then turns around and hits you really hard. And he buffs when you buff. So you have to keep that in mind. You're like, all right, I'm going to do my match. I'm going to do buff, buff, buff. But then, all right, if you buff, 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 you better make sure those buffs are going to kill that Darkseid, because he's over there stacked up, ready to go. And his basic is stunning. You got to be kidding me. Double stunning too. Like his basic stuns, his AoEs are strong. He buffs up like crazy. Like he has a lot going for him, and I think he's going to be a really good tune.
You know, it's funny because you had mentioned that you think he's going to be a pretty good tune for raids.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be kind of sad if he wasn't, considering he started as a raid tune.
Yeah, that's true. But I think he is, because he's going to be he'll stun the boss like crazy, and then if they're not Superboy Prime, he'll stun him like crazy. He's going to ramp up like crazy. Him and like maybe even like Hippo, Miss Martian or something. All the intelligence ups. I don't know how hard he's going to hit, and he double hits every time. And then not only does he double hit, he'll allow everyone else 75% chance to let them double hit too. So he could be something special. Because I know Superwoman's going to be special, but the Darkseid is a good tune. If you're thinking about getting him later, I don't think, I've said this before, I don't think he's a good leader, because he does have good leader abilities, but he's probably not going to change your idea of, oh, I'd rather just bring Lex or Martian Manhunter. You're probably still going to want to bring them over Darkseid, but he's that good. But that's kind of a way I judge him. Like, do I want to take him over Lex or Manhunter? Probably not. I'm probably just going to go ahead and like, I don't know if we're going to see Darkseid in other sieges where Manhunter Lex, you're going to see Manhunter Lex. So
yeah, see, and like, again, take this all with a grain of salt. This is coming from two people who have zero hands-on experience.
We don't
with Darkseid. We've fought him, and like, I don't even really know what he does. All I know is the one time I didn't kill him first, M4 won, and that was one of 2 losses I've had this siege.
Yeah.
So I'm trying my best to. I haven't let him have a turn again since. So.
He's definitely something you have to take it like plan for, either by Black Flash or now with swoops to come in there. Lois, Lola, Low.
Slow.
You can have her deal with him. But let's talk about that Superwoman. My goodness gracious, she hits so hard.
So here's the thing, like, she hits so hard, and that's the main thing that makes her good. The silence is kind of cool. Like, it's something. It's not what I bring her for.
Mm-hmm.
I bring her for the fact that she's just gonna wreck.
Right.
And then it's also nice that, like, when it comes down to like just one character left, I'm like, oh, I can kind of like stack hit chance downs here.
I like the silence, especially on the AoE, because if there's a green on the other side, you're probably not going to kill the green. You could, but you're probably not going to. But what you can do is silence them. And then there you go. Now you're set up for other things. I watched 2D's video. He talked about Superwoman and kind of ran her through paces. And he kind of got what he said was the same thing I was thinking, where the silence is nice, but she's not really a silence character, because if she hits you, she's going to make them explode. She kills them.
Yeah.
So
Trudy was trying to help me bring up the silence comp the other day on stream, and it just wasn't working. It was just like, no, she doesn't fit. Okay.
Yeah, she just kills them. So silence is nice, but what's better is a dead tune, and that's what she does. She kills them, so you're not going to really reap the benefits of her silence.
Silence overall is a pretty weak debuff.
It's
the weakest of the debuffs, I think.
I hear that, but there's situations I think where it's a strong debuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, because if you don't want Arcus issuing challenge, if you don't want Kilowog stunning, if you don't want Black Flash.
It's definitely good. It's an effective way of dealing with like somebody like Wonder Girl without making her more powerful, because your other option to make her do her basic is Enrage, and then now she's just going to hit harder.
Yeah.
So
I agree. It's not the sexy debuff. It's not There's sexier debuffs out there.
I'd rather stun than silence.
I would rather stun than silence. Yeah, I almost feel like, because to me a stun is basically 100% turn meter up. Like, you just basically got that. But yeah, Superwoman, she's amazing. I've been using her a lot. She works so well. She hits so hard. Throw some empowered strength ups on her. I mean, she gets them
Is the
herself.
silence 2 turns?
I don't even know. I don't pay
One of her
attention to it.
silences is 2 turns. I can't remember which one it is. I don't know if it's the one on the 3 or the one on the
Yeah.
2. But what I was thinking is, whichever one only has a 1 turn, what would have been cool is to make her kit a little more inlaid with itself. Whatever one is the 1 turn silence, instead turn that into a stun for whoever has the 2 turn silence. You know what I'm saying? So like you do the one that drops the 2 turn silence down,
Mm-hmm.
and then when you come back around to her turn, you do the other one, whichever one it is, whether it's the AOE that
Oh,
then would do this,
it then
or the other
turns
one, it
like
would then stun
it's
the
stun silence tunes. Ooh,
yeah.
oh man, that would have been. Ooh, she would have been crazy because she's good. But you know what? I think she does have. I think she is balanced well enough that she's not Azrael. She's not just gonna heal herself up, shield herself up, retaliate. Like she can hit really hard, but it can get hit and hurt really bad.
And
Just easy to
that's
take her
also
out.
one of those things where it's like, and I'm sure like when people first hear that, they're like, that would be really broken. Where it's like, okay, well look, here I'm gonna show you something even more broken, and nobody complains about this. Did you know Captain Cold will stun anybody that has 5 or more speed downs?
Really?
So yes,
Yeah. And he puts them down
so
like crazy too.
yeah, you put him on, like you can run him with some like speed down teams like Mr. Freeze and like a really good team is Captain Cold, Mr. Freeze, Chemo, and uh, Killer Frost.
Mm-hmm.
And you get those speed downs spread between Mr. Freeze and Chemo, and then you start stunning all over the place with
Frost?
Captain Cold,
Oh,
and
cool.
then Killer Frost just starts going crazy because there's all these stuns happening.
I just
And
that's an interesting thing to do because that like really fits into Captain Cole's. Like you slow them down so much that they freeze
oh
and they
yeah,
stop and it's done.
Captain Cold's a pretty good character. His problem is that he has like no health.
Yeah, he's gonna get. I think he'll get a
So,
rework soon.
yeah, but
But
that's not Superwoman. I'm just saying, like,
yeah, this
for
is
that idea, like it before anybody goes, that would be too overpowered. Here's an example of it already in the game. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like so,
That would be pretty neat to do. But I think she's a great character. I think she's worth it. And again, if you're out there thinking, should I take Superwoman? Should I buy packs of her? She's probably one of the very few tunes I would say, hey, drop some gems on her. Black Flash is one of those I say drop gems on him, but I think Superwoman's good. And the main reason I think this is, again, not so for Wraith or whatever. I don't care about Wraith. Is literally for raids. Whatever makes your raids easier. If you're out there trying to get 500 million, Superwoman's gonna help you do that. And so she's really good. But those are the new tunes. Let's talk about the reworks because pretty good reworks out there. What do you think? Oh, your head's going back. What's going on?
oh no, I love them. I love both of them.
Okay, you
So
love the reworks.
Wonder Woman, if she gets the 5 or the 5, I don't know why I'm saying 5. If she gets the event right next month,
Oh my goodness gracious!
I will rebirth 5 her.
I might be right there with you because she's in the shop today.
Yeah.
If you're wondering when we're recording, she just came into the shop, and
I don't have the money for it, and it's upsetting me.
I had the gems. I got the gems ready to go, but if she's gonna get the 60 event, I'm gonna wait for that. But my goodness,
Yeah,
I want her. I want her leveled up.
like I want her to get the event, but like what they've shown us with this last month is like they gave Harley the event, and it's like, why?
I
Like,
know. Enchantress would have been great.
I've seen on Reddit some people were arguing. They were like, "Oh, well, like it's good for newer players." I'm like, "Okay, well, newer players, you have literally nodes all across the campaign.
7 nodes.
She's still in PvP packs because she's never going to leave. So,
Yeah.
or she's still in PvP packs. I could be wrong about that, but
I don't know.
it feels like she is still. So it's like
She is
you have
available.
so many different places you can get her. Where it's like, I so would have rather Enchantress be the one that got the event because Enchantress, I run into her every once in a while now in Wraith, and she's actually still annoying to fight.
Enchantress is really good. I'm really liking Enchantress as leader. Like at first I think when I first tested her out, I said my first initial assessment of her was like, she's good. But she's probably better off lead. Like, her leader isn't that great. No, now that I've run her a bunch of times, I love Enchantress as a leader. She makes it so much more interesting. It's almost like a little gamble too. Is she going to proc the DI when his match starts? Because if she does, you're screwed. Like, she's going to get you.
Where it's like, I really rather she got the event, but then like, so that's kind of the same thing with Coda now. It's like, I want Coda to get the event. Where it's like, but here's the thing though, this month is even if Mr. Miracle gets the event, it still doesn't mean it's going to be a bad event because Mr. Miracle's still the good character. It's not the same as like the Harley versus Enchantress argument where it's like Enchantress is literally an exclusive character. Harley's the opposite of an
Right,
exclusive
right.
character. There are people that have her RB5 and still have enough shards to RB5 it for 5 other people. You know, like it's
So
like
if you had a guess, do you think they're gonna give it to Miracle, or
yeah,
you
yeah.
think so? Just because you're
Well, just because I'm so used to WB just trolling me specifically, and just letting me down
I
to
just
where I'm
wish they
like,
would let me know now, because
yeah,
do I need to buy these packs in the shop? I want her Rebirth 1. I would love to go Rebirth 2, but I don't think I'm going to spend 60,000 gems on her,
I
but
think I think it would be so smart of them to come out right now
and
and
say.
say whether or not. Because here's the thing: is like if you bring it out next month, yeah, you're going to get a bunch of money from people buying a bunch of energy to be able to get it through.
Mhm.
But if you say that, oh, next month, no, it's going to be Mr. Miracle, what's going to happen right now is a bunch of people are going to buy a crap ton of gems, and then and
If
not a bunch of people. It's
not a
like
bunch,
the
but
whales are
yeah.
going to do it. But
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, if they told me right now, "Hey, Miracle's going to be the 6th day," then all right, I'm going to spend, maybe I might spend a little bit more than I would have
I think I
planned
would,
to.
if I had the money for it, I don't. But if I had the money for it, I'd go RB3 through the packs.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Uh,
That's
yeah,
15,000. What is it? What is the pack? 150 shards for 7.5. So 300 shards for 15,000 gems. How many do you need to go RB3? Isn't that
a
like
lot.
1,800 ish? Because
Yeah.
it's 300. No, it's 410, 610, 910. So 1930. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's a lot
Yeah.
of. That's a lot of packs. Okay. Um, Coda, she's great. She's so
Oh
great.
yeah.
She attacks on her attacking and retaliation. She's a little bit of a blue Arcus. She's a little bit of a blue Azrael with Arcus power. Like it's, I guess with Azrael power, she
Yeah.
does
You
so much damage. AOE damage though, like
when you
AOE
touch her,
damage.
when you touch her, you pray
Hmm.
the things don't happen, and
Yeah.
then when you see her do the buff, you go, okay, cool. Let's just hope she doesn't do the AOE
Hmm.
now.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a lot. She's a very scary tune to go against, and she's great to run too. I'm running a little team with her right now. M4 kind of showed this team off, and I've been running it. It's Hal, Jordan, Clayface, Coda, and Azrael, but mainly Coda and Azrael together. Don't attack the team, because if you attack anyone else, you're pissing off Azrael. If you attack Coda, you're pissing her off, and Azrael. You know what's scary is playing that match and not auto, but feeling like it's an auto because they retaliate, they attack, they do so much damage, they kill 3 tunes before I even make a move, and the match isn't
it
an
would be
auto.
so interesting
Hmm.
if like if we say like next month is like a flash month and we get a Captain Cold rework. Oh my gosh.
What are you thinking about over there?
Okay, do you know what Captain Cold does?
I
I
don't.
feel like most people don't know what Captain Cold
I
does because
actually
he's so
have
out of the
him. I
meta.
actually have him G10. I have him. He
All right,
was.
here,
I was gonna go
let me
G11.
read you his team leader ability real quick.
Okay.
So team leader, 51% chance to use cold shot, which is his basic, on enemy that damages Captain
Oh,
Cold
or
or
his
an ally.
team. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that.
Equal chance that an ally uses their basic on any enemy that damages Captain Cold. So you basically one of the mistakes that you can make against a Captain Cold team, especially like, and some people do run this still. If you look for it, it's very few and far between. I've ran this team a little bit where it's Captain Cold and then like you do like Clayface, Azrael, probably Coda
Mm-hmm.
now. And then if you AOE that team, it's gonna hurt very badly.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're gonna get like Azrael to retaliate, you're gonna get Coda to retaliate, and then you're also gonna get Captain Cold to retaliate, and then he's gonna make his entire team retaliate again.
Mm.
And it's pretty crazy.
I wouldn't
So,
mind running. I got Captain Cold. I might run something like that. A little Captain
yeah,
Cold, Clayface, Coda.
it'd be interesting, and I just because that just popped in my head right now, and it'd be kind of interesting to see how that goes. Now, what's really cool, like about running that right, Captain Cold on a team with like that team I was talking about earlier, is then Cold Shot that's the one that has the ability to stun
Mm-hmm.
based off of speed downs. So then he stuns on retaliation.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting if we get a rework of a Captain Cold pretty soon, and that percentage chance goes up or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because like there's a lot of these characters if you go back that haven't been touched since the game came out or since they got released. Captain Cold wasn't here at release, but if you go back and look at them, a lot of their percentages are extremely low.
Yeah.
And it's like some stuff that like you see on brand new characters is just guaranteed. There's not
Mm-hmm.
even a chance.
Or 75%,
And
much
so,
higher.
yeah. So
So what do you? Okay. So Coda, Is she going to be S tier?
I think so. Yeah,
I
she deserves it.
I think she's great. I think she's amazing. She hits so effing hard. She buffs 4 strength ups. That's really good. Her basic calls an assist, potentially call 2. Like she makes some tunes go invisible. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes that's whatever's. But she does a lot, and I think she's a really, really, really good tune. Again, I'm really considering buying packs of her. I just at least take her to RB1 because I have her L5 and I would love, and not many people have her too. She's been in a very an elusive character out there. And a little tidbit about Wonder Woman Coda, if you're new to the game at all. She was, if you got the game in beta or one of the first, like, what were they?
It was like
pre-download or something, or pre-register.
For anybody that remembers this from when Injustice did it, do you remember when Injustice 2 first came out and the mobile game was coming out with it? They were like, if you register now, you'll get Catwoman.
Mm-hmm.
That's how she was.
And
it
then,
was like, if you register now, you got
her.
If
you register to sign up to play the game when it comes out, then you get Wonder Woman. And I did not know about it. And I remember she was so annoying when I first started playing because she was so effing strong. And they're kind of bringing her back to her former glory. We're back in the people now are what you're experiencing with Coda now. That's how it was in the beginning of the game when you would see a Coda, and I think it was a rank 3 Coda. It was a rank 3 Wonder Woman out there, and it's like, oh man, she's going to hit real hard. That AoE is going to do a lot of damage. But enough about Coda.
It's crazy how power creep has changed this game.
Mm-hmm. Enough about Coda. Let's talk about Mr. Miracle.
Yeah, Mr. Miracle. So you don't have him geared, right?
Okay. So here's what happened. I wasn't because he's Mr. Miracle, and I'm like, okay, what is he going to do? But apparently he's really good. Mr. Miracle's really good. And I farmed enough resources to take him G11. I had him ready to go. But I still am very leery of gearing him up. And this is a personal thing. This is what I do. I don't necessarily like gearing up tunes specifically for Siege. If I can get away with not gearing up a tune for a one-time Siege run, I try not to. Because I really don't know if I'm going to use Miracle outside of Siege. I don't get cute with my teams is why.
Yeah, I don't know if he specifically fits you and your play style.
No.
He's not very he's a good grain to have for this Siege when you want to run another grain. Simply for running a grain and he gets bonus tune.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, he has a very good kit. What he does is good. He is a good character. I really enjoy what they did with him. I think they actually really made him a good character now.
He is good.
And I think we will see him again. You won't in Siege. If he ever becomes a bonus tune again in Siege, in a month. Well, no. I mean, in a month that he doesn't fit this month because there's not a lot of debuffs.
I know. I get what you're saying. If he is a bonus tune, yeah, of course I'm gonna use them. But I'm saying,
what I'm saying is
he would get more play in a different Siege.
He'd get more play in a Siege that was he does not benefit this Siege too greatly, because there's not a lot of debuffs.
Right.
If there were a lot more debuffs, he'd get a lot more play.
Yeah.
As far as dealing with debuffs, he may actually still be a character you might want to bring in Wraith to help deal with debuffs, because like we were talking about earlier when I was talking about my proposal for a Wonder Woman pot rework, is we don't have anybody that really deals with debuffs crazy well.
Right.
There's characters out there that do it, but it's like Ultraman does it, but you need to be running pretty much all villains for him to really start doing it. Whereas Mr. Miracle does it pretty well, and he doesn't need you to have a certain type of character running alongside him.
Yeah, Mr. Miracle is annoying to fight. Again, I don't use him that much. I don't have him. I have him G10. I actually geared up Steppenwolf today over Miracle, and the reason I did that, one, because Steppenwolf has value.
Back if she's annoying,
yeah, the evasion teams, the back row Harleys, but also he has value outside of Siege and Wraith. I value raids, and he's valuable. He can be valuable in raids, and also in Siege, because you know who's rearing their head a lot in Siege is back row Harley. They keep showing up in raid and Siege. They keep showing up.
I didn't miss the evasion meta at all, and that's coming from somebody who has a bunch of the characters that work into the evasion meta. But it's like And like I know that you have a special place in your heart for Harley
I
and
do.
everything. And like,
I do.
but it's like I still don't think I agree with them reworking her, especially because they broke her basically. She's
Yeah.
still like
She's still bugged.
what? Yeah,
Her
and it's like
cooldown on her taunt is one turn too quick.
yeah, and so and it's like she's now back everywhere again, and now I've been
Leave
breaking out
leave
Steppenwolf a
Harley
lot
alone.
more. I've been breaking out Steppenwolf a lot more lately, and I'm just like,
Okay.
man,
I asked you,
I-
do you think Coda is going to be S tier? Off topic a little bit. Do you think Harley is S tier now?
no, she's just annoying.
But
Like,
do you think she's S tier? Look what she does. The evasions, the taunts. She hits so hard.
uh, like, I mean, part of it's sheer spite. I don't want to give her S tier, but then it's like, I still don't think she deserves S tier because, like,
I
yeah,
think she really
she
excels with
complements the
Batgirl.
team is really well. She's a really good taunter. Don't get me wrong.
She excels really well with Batgirl, and I think that's where she really shines. So
She does a great job being annoying.
She's S tier when she's with Batgirl.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's a good tune.
But
all right, anyways,
besides that,
Miracle,
like,
Mr. Miracle.
Mr. Miracle's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying him. I haven't been using him a ton, so like, there's your review of him. He's okay.
I've been literally trying my best to not gear him up because I'm trying to save gems maybe for something else. But
I'd say he's like solid B to A tier.
Yeah, I think he's very good. Just he's infinitely better than where he was because where he was so trashy. Yeah, that he is significantly better, but he's a good tune. Like if you if you're a new player and you don't have like some greens or out there and you would like to use Miracle, I think he's going to do well in Wraith. You can run him in Wraith and you can make some fun teams with him. He's a good tune. My thing is I want raid tunes. I want tunes I like dropping bombs but Miracle.
Yeah.
When he you know what's annoying is when he dies, he comes back full health. He's the only tune that comes back 100% HP on revive. He's the only one that does it. And he gives everyone awarenesses. He's annoying.
Oh yeah. Well, like, and here's the thing too. Like I'm just giving WB big thumbs up. Over the past 2 months, you've taken 3 characters that were like at the bottom of the garbage pail and brought all of them up into either just simply good or unbelievable.
What's a garbage pail?
Garbage bin. Garbage pail.
What's a garbage pail?
It's a pail you put garbage in. All right.
He's a garbage pail. Okay, go on.
I can't claim like region because we live in the same state.
He's at the bottom. He's at the bottom of the garbage pail.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they were.
So,
They brought up tunes.
Like Mr. Miracle, Coda was pretty far down there. I don't know if she was actually in like.
She wasn't trash. She just wasn't.
She was pretty far down there.
She was down there, and also a lot of people didn't have shards of her.
And Enchantress was down there too.
Yeah, Enchantress. I think Enchantress is a really good rework.
And so it's like they've done a good job on the reworks this year so far.
But I will say,
just going off of like, because this does mark the first like quarter of the year, you know. And so not to like get ahead of ourselves just because we were like last year we're talking about we did a whole year in review thing, but so far this year's looking good.
Yeah, I think so as well.
New content, raids are working as intended. Besides the fact that one of them had to be delayed a little bit, that's understandable.
That's fine.
And so far the new characters and the reworks have all been good.
Yeah, so, but I will say Enchantress and Coda right now they're still both bugged.
Are they?
Yeah, Coda is bugged that she's not giving 25% turn meter like she's supposed to. She gives a little bit, but not the 25%. Which
did they fix the invisibility thing?
What was the fix on it? What was wrong with it?
She wasn't doing it.
No, she is. She is doing it. She is making tunes invisible.
First day she wasn't doing it.
But I know she is now. I've had it and I've had done.
I got like on that first day when people were talking about it. I had ranked my ability up halfway and took the legendary point, and I remember
I was watching you stream. Yeah,
and mine worked.
Yeah,
so
it is
I just
working.
haven't touched it since.
Yeah.
So do you think I'm clear to upgrade it now?
Yeah, I have mine. I have her fully upgraded. And also Enchantress is still bugged. She's not doing the overheal that she should be doing. So I mean, good job on them. Good job on WB, but WB give me some more.
The point we do have to get into with them is like every character's been bugged lately.
Yeah, that is a knock.
Every month there's been a bug, and every rework has been bugged still. Like Harley's still bugged. So Okay, I will say the concepts of the reworks that they've done are good. It's not good that they're all still bugged. Like literally,
Yeah.
let's see, Harley, Coda,
Enchantress
Enchantress, and that's it. I think
of this year.
of this, yeah, are all still bugged, and we still have characters from last year that are bugged.
Yeah.
So,
But that's those are those two. They're good. Get them.
so
Get them while they're hot.
Speaking of what I mentioned a minute ago, new content. We got the Nightmare Challenge coming.
That's the new stuff. That's the new buzz. Everyone's all buzzed up about it. Nightmare mode is here. Nightmare Challenge is here. And they just came out with the details. Was it today or yesterday? I think it was yesterday.
Yesterday.
They came out with the details yesterday. It's
So
going to be a monthly event. Read it off, Costly.
Yeah, so it's so including Nightmare Challenge in this month's 3-day event, players from level 50 and above can prove their team is the strongest in the universe by defeating multiple waves of heroes and villains to get amazing rewards. Which we know is Rebirth Crystals, one of those.
That's an amazing reward.
Through all intense and exciting 10 stages. From March 18th at 5 p.m. Every month, we will be holding the Nightmare Challenge, which will consist of 10 nodes. That's 5 p.m. Pacific time, by the way, before we get too far away from that. And people are like, I heard on this podcast it was at 5 p.m. and then it didn't happen. So we'll be holding the Nightmare Challenge. It will consist of 10 nodes with the waves of 2 or 4 characters, depending on the node. For the Nightmare Challenge, we recommend you pick a character with level 50 plus. You ready to participate? We can't wait. The information on this month's Nightmare Challenge is the following: start date, and then bonus characters will be Darkseid, Superwoman, Lady Shiva, and Bleeze. They will all get a 250% HP bonus for participating.
That's a lot, by the way.
Based off of this, though, so it's saying pick a character with level 50 plus. You think we're only getting to take one character in here?
No, I just think that's just them typing and being bad at typing.
Typo?
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily a typo. I just think it's bad wording. Like, bring a character, but you're gonna need 4 of them. Like, I don't think it's a one. I mean, imagine if it is though. Imagine it's only one character. I don't think it would be, because who would you bring? Probably Azrael. But no, I think it's a normal. I think it's just a reskinned anniversary event.
So I think that's what they have typed out there, was that we recommend you pick a character with level 50 plus. I think it's just their way of typing out what I'm looking at the details of Nightmare Challenge inside the game right now. Looks like Legendary Essence, Green Essence, and Rebirth Crystals are going to be the rewards, and it says for heroes level 50 plus.
Yeah,
so I think that's literally just them saying you need level 50 heroes.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. It's just their wording was allowed for that.
Do you think it's the anniversary event? You think that's what it is?
Do I think it's what?
Do you think it's just the anniversary event?
Yeah, I think it's I think it's just the skinned up. I think the anniversary event was something they wanted to do.
They're probably doing a little more thematic this time.
Yeah, it got some good mix. I mean,
I wouldn't mind that as content, and then just do something else for the anniversary this year.
I just it's something different. But I think this is they did it. They saw it was good. It ran well. The whales loved it. The higher players loved it. And lower players struggled. But I think it was just because of poor communication last time that people thought you could go in, they'd have a chance, and they didn't. At least this time, literally the name of the event is Nightmare Challenge. You're not going to be G8, G9 rolling in there and knocking heads. You're going to get smashed.
Yeah, so, and I mean, on top of that, it's a monthly source of Rebirth Crystals.
Monthly source, that's great.
Hopefully, it's a decent amount of Rebirth Crystals. Even if it's only one, that's still one more crystal a month than we're getting currently. So,
if I had to guess, I'm going to say it's 5. I'm going to say you're going to get 5 crystals.
So that tracks with the way they do everything. Because that would then make it to where it's 2 months to get a new Rebirth, just like how it is with the login right now.
Right.
Because for people that don't compete in Siege.
Wait, 1 month to get a Rebirth.
No.
Yeah, it's 10. If you get 5 from this event and then 5 from logins.
Oh no, I'm saying right now without the Nightmare Challenge.
Oh, okay.
It's only 5 a month.
Yeah.
And so it's that tracks with that, to where it's that's still just an extra. So basically, we're getting an extra Rebirth a month.
That's great, and that's great. And that, what that makes me think?
That's what it is. We're not confirming that by
what that makes me think too? Does that make, if there's 5 Rebirth crystals here, does that make even the
RB10's coming? Yeah.
No. Does that make does that make the prize for being the top alliance even less now?
Yeah. That better go.
Yeah, it's not a thing anymore.
That needs to go up to 10.
Yeah. All right. But anyways, Nightmare Challenge, I'm looking forward to it. I do think it's going to be a reskinned anniversary event, but nothing wrong with that. New content. I just want it to be hard. I want it to be a very difficult challenge. I want it to be a nightmare. But I don't think there's anything this game can do currently with the state of the game and the tunes that we have at our disposal. We didn't have Black Flash for the anniversary event. I think with the tunes you have, I don't think this game can really do anything that unfortunately can propose any big challenge. Bring Black Flash, bring Lex, bring Larfleeze, bring Superwoman. Heck, she's going to be a monster in PvE node clears. She's going to have so many empowered strength ups. But by the time that final node comes, she's going to be one-shotting everyone. AoE. So it's...
It'd be interesting if they started, like, if they did certain things with the waves, because you can do different things to make it very challenging, where it's like, you could make it to where, like, I have to be so on top of how I'm doing things that I need to make sure, like, say, Mr. Miracle has his 2 ready just before somebody's turn on wave 2 because I need awareness across my entire team or it's going to get nuked. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be interesting to bring stuff like that.
I'm not a game designer, but I know there's ways to make this a nightmare where it'd be neat if you, like, you can't just run one team and run the whole thing. We're like, yeah, you can try Lex this time, but this next wave, these tunes have a little bit more ability. Maybe instead of putting down, Black Mask doubles the debuffs that he lays down or whatever. I don't know. Like,
yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
It is interesting
because it's like, even if it's not like great in its first implementation, it's a step forward.
Oh yeah, and they could tweak it. They could
community about because it's like. They could definitely make this something very challenging and give us a reason to upgrade our character.
And that's what I really think this is going to be too. I've asked people that are lower leveled, and I've asked them, like, will this motivate you to go G11 if the rewards are worth it? And a lot of them said, yeah, it's something that would make them take their tunes up, and they should.
One of the things I'd be curious about is, like, the problems we have with, like, Wraith and everything. How, like, certain people can boost up faster because of their characters being lower level and stuff. It's really only Wraith that, like, has that problem. Everything else, like, you're incentivized to have a higher level character.
I think red alerts it scales with you. Wraith it doesn't. Siege, if you want to play Siege, you need to be geared up. But what else is there? Raids, I guess. Yeah, you if you want to.
Raids and Siege, you're incentivized to go higher level. So what I'm wondering is, now with there being another PvE thing where hopefully they can really make this a nightmare to do and make it to where you need a good variety of characters to be able to get things done. So it's like, what this could be, what I'm curious about is if red alerts is your own personal thing, whatever. Specifically, I wonder if Wraith would fix itself. People being incentivized to bring their
I mean, I don't know. Like, I would like to think that way. I would like to think that would, but honestly,
you know what I mean? It's like it would. I wonder if it would bring it to a point where it's like really the only people that get that bonus, right? To because it would actually make sense the way that Wraith is designed if there was something a good enough incentive to bring your characters up.
Yeah,
where it's like. That could be a moment where, like, you're making a decision like, okay, I'm gear 10 going gear 11. It's like, okay, so if I go gear 11, I can get these rewards, and these are really good rewards that could really help me. But it's like, if I stay here for maybe a couple more months, I can get a lot more shards out of Wraith right now by higher placements and everything, and then be able to push up further. Because one of the things that would happen if, like, it's so interesting just thinking about this, the way all this would work, is if more people upgraded their characters, more people had level 80 characters, right? More people had L5s, then your power goes up in Wraith, and, like, the average power goes up to where, and then you start getting more rebirths. And so it's like, it would make it harder for, like, somebody with lower power characters to still be able to compete very well.
Yeah,
because there's less. Because, like, the thing is, like, a lower power roster right now is, yes, you can pretty easily take out some of these higher teams. There's some that are still difficult though, and what makes it nice is that you have other people around your level though still that you're able to fight. So if you take less people, if you take those people and upgrade all their tunes because they're wanting to get the nightmare challenge done, then it just naturally makes Wraith a higher level or higher.
Yeah,
skill.
but
You know what I mean?
I think the big, I totally agree with what you're saying, but I really think the big thing for the lower players is the World Engine teams, the Donna Troy, World's Greatest Detective. That's how those really, really low players, like the level 60 G10s or the G10 and a half, that's how they do so well. And I can't, I mean, I'm not knocking, I guess I am knocking, I don't know. I don't understand why anyone would not want a full bonus or tunes for Wraith to be top 100. Who cares? I don't know.
Yeah, it's the fragments that you get.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where it's like I just think like all this game needs is incentive for people to upgrade their characters, and you get a lot more people upgrading their characters. Like currently right now, what you're talking about is like Siege and Raids, whereas both of those are good incentives. You're missing like there's 3 parts of this game. There's the PvP, there's the raids, which is a little different than PvE. It's still PvE, but it's a little different. Then there's the PvE content. And there's nothing in the PvE content space that's encouraging you to upgrade your character. So it's like seeing all 3 of those need higher level characters, then that's going to give people more incentive to upgrade. So I'm interested to see what this will do.
I am interested. I think I'm glad they're doing something at least. I like that. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to it. Little quick plug for myself is on the day of the Nightmare event, I'm going to stream 1 hour. I'm going to start 1 hour later than normal. So that way I can go into reset and I will run the Nightmare event live on stream. So if you want to see what it looks like before you jump into it, before you go in blind, you can come watch me. I will run it blind for you, you know.
Oh yeah.
So be ready. That's next Thursday.
Is it? Yeah. 6 days, 18 hours.
Yeah, it's next Thursday. There it is. Nightmare event 1 week from now. Now, Costa, we have 2 other topics on our list today. Do you want to save these topics for another stream?
Yeah,
we should do that. So there are other 2 topics we wanted to talk about, but we tend to blabber on sometimes. Is Superman.
Time.
Yeah, Superman and Lois. We've both seen both episodes. And then WandaVision.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I think what'll work perfectly is by the next time we're going to be recording, we might even be on episode 3, possibly episode 5. Well, 3 came out last night.
Oh, but hang on. Do you know they're taking a hiatus, right?
Are they?
Yeah, which is really stupid. I think there's not going to be any more 4/5s. They're not going to come back till May. I know. It's DC. I don't understand why they do these things. I mean, they had to do it because of COVID, but I remember reading something that they said that Superman and Lois are going on hiatus after this next episode. They're coming back in May because of the way COVID production happened. But my God, talk about shooting yourself in the foot with a new show that's really good. And then in our next podcast, who knows, we might pump one out sooner than normal. That the show's good. The show's really good. And the fact that they're going to go on hiatus, God.
Yeah. Well, probably what we'll do an episode where we'll talk about WandaVision, because that did just end, but we'll give people more time to watch it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Lois and Clark. And by then,
Lois and Clark. What are you, the 90s?
Sorry, Superman and Lois. And by then,
Snyder Cut will be out. All right, let's do the next podcast. You know, get everyone hyped up. We're going to be all television. We're going to be doing Superman Lois.
That one will be probably very little DCL.
Yeah, very little DCL.
We'll probably talk about the Nightmare Challenge, how it was by then, and then we'll go straight into talking about.
So that'll be it'll be a TV show. That'll be Superman and Lois. That'll be WandaVision. God, it's such a good show. I love WandaVision. And then we'll talk about Snyder Cut. I'm excited. All right, and that'll be easy. We can do that. Let's do it.
Oh yeah.
Sweet. Well, that's it for today. I think. Is there any other things that you want to talk about or touch on or bring up? Good.
No,
neither.
I might do a whole thing at some point. I know. I'm going to start up my YouTube channel again. So
okay.
I might. It's been one of those things where it's like, I really want to break down some stuff that I think could be beneficial from DCL.
I would love to hear it.
Because I've not just been playing Raid. Everybody knows I've been playing Raid, but like at the end of the day, I was inspired by Normal Normac.
Check out his Twitch channel too, by the way. He has one smooth voice. I don't know if you've ever heard him talk. Yeah. He's got a voice on him. But Normal Normac, I think it's twitch.tv/Normal Normac. And
Yeah, I
maybe
think
we'll
so.
put a little link in there somewhere.
Well, we'll put a link in the description.
Yeah.
But I was watching his stream, and he does this mobile madness thing,
Mhm.
and I totally ripped him off for in the middle of Siege
I
last
saw
month.
that.
Yeah, I told him to. He's like, I saw. I was like, yeah. I was like, I hope you're not mad at me. But one of the things that I kind of I was watching him. I was like, I haven't played Strike Force in a long time, so I like booted up Strike Force because I like one of the things I enjoy about Raid is I can play it on my computer.
Mm-hmm.
And so because DCL I play on my phone, and because I'm on
You're an
Apple,
iPhone
I
sucker.
can't log in. So it's been real nice because I have BlueStacks downloaded for Raid. Raid has its own player, which is what I prefer to play on, but you can do a thing to upgrade gear really fast on BlueStacks. And so I have
Sucker.
BlueStacks downloaded for that. It's not even a hack. You literally just lower the frame rate to 10 and it works for some reason. I went on there and I was using BlueStacks, and so I was like, oh wait, what are some of these games? And I found out Galaxy Heroes I could sign in through Facebook, so like I brought it up on there. Strike Force I was able to do, Future Fight I was able to do. I tried Age of Magic because I played that back in the day, and it didn't let me. But a couple of these games I pulled up, and it was like accounts that I had like left bare for like a year and a half on some of these, and I just was having fun playing through some of this stuff. And it was just giving me ideas because I mean I know you were talking about it one time about you were watching Normal Normac do his mobile madness thing, and you were like, "There's so much stuff."
I was surprised to see how much stuff that other games have that DCL doesn't, and
And
it is eye opening.
And it's like one of those things. I'll get more into it like when I do a YouTube video on it. But it's like, for instance, for me with Raid recently, I feel like everything I've ever done with Raid brought me to this moment. Like.
Kasi, I was about to say, like, I thought we were ending this the little podcast here, and I was like, oh, Kasi, I'm so proud of you for barely bringing up Raids today. Here it is. Here, let's hear it.
Like, I'm saving it for the end. But yeah, look, just real quick about it. There was something that happened recently in the game that like made me feel really good about everything I'd done in the game. It made me feel like all my grinding in the game was worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just something that like I have felt in DCL before, but I just haven't felt in a really long time. And it was kind of weighed on me, that thought. So
yeah.
I wanted to make a video about it or something.
Do it. But you know what? I will say you did do a lot less raid talk today. I'm proud of you. Okay.
I guess I'm gonna make a YouTube, or I already have a YouTube channel, but I'm gonna start doing YouTube videos again, and I'll get all my raid stuff out there.
There you go. All right, that's it for us today. We talked about a lot of things. I hope you had fun. I hope I had fun. Did you have fun, Costley?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and if you're listening, I hope you had fun. I hope you got some chuckles.
Du Bois wasn't here. I mean, it's always fun when Du Bois not here. I mean, it's not fun when. Oh.
What are you saying? He can hear these things.
But yeah, so I'm sure he'll be here for the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, I'm sure he will be here for Snyder Cut because for sure he's watching, and he's watched WandaVision. I don't think he's watched Superman. Maybe we can get him to watch that. It's a good
I don't
show.
know if he's watched that or not. Did he finally watch WandaVision though?
He finally did. I told him. I said, "Oh my god, just watch it." And I'm glad he did. He did. So it's so good. If you didn't watch WandaVision, go watch it right now, and then maybe next week we'll have a new video out and we can talk about it.
Yeah, it's all out. So.
Yep. All right.
And Superman and Lois is only a couple episodes, and the first episode's like 2 hours long though.
It's not though. It's not.
It's not. It feels like it is.
No, it's an hour.
Is it really? Yeah. It just feels
because it did say a 2-hour premiere event, and then when I
they're trying to get commercials and stuff like
well,
that.
Well, no, not even that. It was the 2-hour event was like behind the scenes stuff, talking with the cast, and so that was the first hour, and then the next hour was the actual show. But I thought that too. I thought it was gonna be 2-hour big show. But then when I got it, it was only the normal.
Oh, I got a story about that we'll have to say on the next episode.
All right, next episode, say it.
But
check out her. So if you to listen to the next episode, watch WandaVision. You're gonna love it. Watch Superman and Lois. It's a really good show. A lot of good things are going on. It's shot beautifully too. It looks like a movie you're watching.
Oh yeah.
And then Snyder Cut. That's gonna be exciting. But that'll be next time. We had a lot of fun today. Thank you for listening.
Oh yeah.
Where are we at, Costley? Where can they find us?
YouTube. Wasn't prepared for this.
Put them on the spot.
Podbean, Amazon, Spotify, iTunes. We have the video version will be up on YouTube, and then on all the other like normal streaming platforms or podcast streaming platforms, will be up on there in audio version. So
sounds good to me. All right, that's it. I'll talk to you later, Costly.
yeah.
You have yourselves a good night. And everyone out there, thank you for listening, and have yourselves a good night too. Bye, everybody.